Good evening. This is Dave Serio from You Ought to Know, and we welcome you to YouAutoKnowLive.com. You Ought to Know Live is heard and seen every single Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern. And, of course, you can always watch it on archive at YouAutoKnowLive.com. As I mentioned, I'm Dave Serio, the host of a radio program called You Ought to Know. It is seen and heard live every Saturday morning, 7 a.m. until noon at DaveSerio.com. And, of course, you can listen to it on Baltimore and Frederick, Maryland radio stations on Saturday. 7 to 8 is on Q1370 AM in Baltimore, which also simulcast on 99.9 FM in the Harford County, Maryland area. And then 8 to 10, the big 50,000-watt power station, AM 680 WCBM. That's 8 to 10 on Saturday mornings in Baltimore. And then 11 to 12 on Free Talk 930 WFMD in Frederick, Maryland. All of them available on the web at DaveSerio.com. With more information on the homepage, you can even find out about the free You Ought to Know app. Well, enough about me. Let's get to my guest. Let's see who we have up first. We have the Shine Shop detailing guru himself, Michael Lambert. Mike, how you doing, buddy?
Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing well. So things going well in the old shopperoo?
Yes, we're busy. I never thought I'd say this. I think we're too busy.
Oh, no. Work you to death. Elaine is, I hear the whip in the background.
No. We're lucky. I can't complain about that at all.
Very good. Well, we're happy for you, and you do excellent work. For those of you that are not familiar with Mike, Mike runs a detail shop, and he says he's busy, but then he just takes all day on one car. I don't understand it. So obviously, the busyness is not forcing you to do 2 and 3 a day and 4 and 5 a day like some other shops, huh?
No, we don't do that. We like to spend as much time as we need to get the car as close to perfect as possible, and we're actually looking into next year, I'm told. So that's a good thing. I can't complain about that.
Very good, very good. Save room for the little people, okay?
Oh, don't worry about that. We got you set up. Don't worry.
All right, very good. Well, Mike Lambert owns a business called The Shine Shop in Reisterstown, Maryland. The phone number there is 410-833-1632. And, of course, website's right there on his lower third. By the way, you've got your car right behind you. That is probably one of the prettiest black cars you're ever going to see. That's a 2013 black Challenger RT, should I say. And that is just gorgeous. That was at the show. We were at Jose's show. Of course, Jose will be up in just a few moments, Jose and Todd. We were at Jose's show Sunday at Dynamic Automotive in Urbana. By the way, I can't say anything else but after Dynamic Automotive by saying Urbana. I said so many times during the video. But that video was 30 minutes by Craig Shipp. Did you get a chance to see it all?
Yes, it turned out very well. I was impressed with it.
Yeah, especially the beginning when we were talking about you.
No, you did a nice job, and I appreciate it.
Very good. Yeah, it was a great show. How many cars total were there, Jose?
It was close to 100 cars there. It was a little lighter than last year, but we were squeezing them in here and there, and it worked out pretty well. Very
good. All right, we'll be back to you in just a few moments, sir. So, Mike Lambert, you do what's called C-Quartz, and I'm looking forward to getting this on my 4th car coming up in about 2 months. That will be the Pantera that had to wait until the paint cured. You wanted to make sure that was good and hard paint before we got started on that. But you've already done 3 of my cars, and I think everybody will admit that the SRT Viper with the striker red really looks gorgeous with the C-Quartz on it.
Yeah, it just brings out the color of the paint really well. And Jose and Todd had a friend of theirs up there with his Thunderbird. I did, and I thought that turned out very well too. I was pleased with that car.
Yep, thank God. Well, you don't please that guy, you're in trouble.
He is an outspoken gentleman, but he's a really nice guy. I kind of like him.
He is. I like him too. So it was good seeing you Sunday. Great seeing your Challenger. And I think that everybody had a great time. And I know some people were talking to you about having their cars detailed. I know a gentleman with a 2014 Hyundai Santa Fe was interested. Then another gentleman with a 2013, what, do you remember?
Honda Accord, I believe. Yeah, we talked to a couple of people and gave out some information, and I think Lane has already talked to 1 or 2 of them, so that's a good thing.
That's great. And of course, it's what it's all about is getting the work out of it, but also just talking to the folks and explaining to them what C-Quartz is. So spend a minute or two and explain to us once again what C-Quartz is all about.
C-Quartz Finest is the brand that we use, and it's in a group of products that are called semi-permanent coatings. And those are basically made out of the same material that the glass of your car is made out of. And what they'll do is they'll chemically bond to the paint of your car versus mechanically bond, meaning like waxes and sealants just kind of stick on your car. This actually bonds with the chemicals in the paint, so it doesn't wear off while you wash it, and it doesn't evaporate into the sun and things like that. And it just provides a superior layer of protection, and it just magnifies the color of the paint, so you really won't get a shine out of anything else like you do out of these coatings. And we went with C-Quartz Finest because they're one of only 2 companies in the market now that offer a factory warranty versus a warranty through an insurance company or something like that. So that if for one day I do retire and you want to get C-Quartz, all you got to do is call them and they'll get you an installer. Or if I've done your car and you want to have it done again, they'll find somebody that will do it for you that's been approved. So that's why we went with it. And honestly, I've used a bunch of them, and I think this is the best.
But we know you well enough to hunt you down, sir. So don't think you're getting out of this, okay?
I'm going to disappear from the face of the earth.
I know how to get to West Virginia, okay? Not a problem. All right? See pictures of where you're going. Won't have any problem finding you.
No.
All right. That sounds good. And the average cost for a complete detail and a C-Quartz treatment is around $500, correct?
It's $495 for a car and $525 for a truck, a normal size truck. Now, when you get into the dualies and things like that, and the great big 3/4 ton Suburbans and things, it's a little bit more, but that's just because we need to use more material, and the product itself is extremely expensive.
I hear that. Well, good to have you, Mike. We're going to be back with you in just a few moments. Do you have any pictures to show us tonight?
I have pictures.
Okay, great. Very good. That sounds fantastic. Looking forward to seeing them. Let's go back to Jose and Todd. Jose Bueso and Todd, we're glad to have you here, mister. Of course, you guys are with Dynamic Automotive, and you're at the Liberty Town location. There are 3 locations. I'm tired of talking about it, so go ahead and tell us all about those 3 locations.
Sure. As you mentioned before, and it is good to be here tonight, Dave. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're at the Liberty Town location, and we service foreign and domestic cars and trucks and diesels also. If you want to get a hold of us, you can call us at 301-694-6250. Our original location is in Newmarket, and that's a little 2-bay shop that does a ton of work. Same format, foreign and domestic, all kinds of trucks, including diesels there, Maryland State inspections. We do those also at all 3 shops. That phone number at Newmarket is 301-694-5460. You'll talk to Sarah or my partner Lee Foreman over there. They'll be glad to help you. And the largest location, which is located right off of 270 in beautiful Urbana, Maryland, that phone number is 301-874-8833. You'll talk to either Kevin, Jason, or Big Bobby Allen, who was cooking up a storm at the car show Sunday, which was...
That was excellent, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, normally when you get pit beef, it's cut very, very thin, but he had it thick cut, and man, I'm telling you, it was good.
Yeah, he does a great job. He's definitely the grill master, and he does his magic at a lot of our gatherings, and he's happy to do it.
Now, I was a little disappointed at the very beginning because he seemed to set his pricing to what kind of car or cars you brought.
And I told him that you were bringing 3 exotics, so I'm sure you must have paid a pretty penny for lunch.
He wanted $10 for a cup of ice.
Oh, so he was trying to sell it to you at half price.
Yeah, he was telling the ladies what I brought and what I should pay. So no good deed goes unpunished, my friend. Just bring nice cars, and what do you happen? Now, he was great, and the food was delicious. So all good stuff. All good stuff.
I hope you got a chance to look at the car wash and the light show with them.
Yeah, I did. Of course, we videotaped it also, but no, that was great, and it is good. It really is nice.
Yeah,
And Todd, you brought a Cobra with you?
I brought my Cobra, yes.
Yeah. And a lot of people looking at it?
A few, yeah. It wasn't cleaned up quite to Mike's standards, but it looked pretty decent for what I could do.
Where was it sitting?
What was that?
Where was it sitting?
It was all the way down at the end when you come out of the car wash.
Okay. Yep. Very good. Well, I'll tell you, the show went well. The weather, I mean, those clouds looked horrible sometimes.
Oh,
I kept looking at my phone, and I kept on saying 0%.
Yeah.
So that was a good thing.
Yeah, we lucked out. Actually, the clouds were a blessing. They blocked out that hot sun for most of the day, and you're right. It didn't rain. We had some great weather there. The crowd, I think peak time was between 1 and 2 o'clock. The crowd was good.
No doubt.
I saw a lot of smiling faces, a lot of handshaking. It was a good time.
Yep. And what was also nice is we did have a lot of spectators. Big Bubba from BG seemed to be a pretty big hit.
They put in 2 demonstrations that day. That was a big hit.
Yep.
We had plenty of vendors. The Bubbles girls were there from the hair salon, a local hair salon.
Yeah, explain real quick what Bubbles Girls means. Yeah, real quick. I think that'd be a good idea to get that out. Hair salon. That was my second choice, by the way. I'll just tell you this. If you go on the web and you look up a comedian called Amazing Jonathan, and you hear his Bubbles joke, you'll never be able to say the name of that shop again without giggling.
Oh, really?
Amazing Jonathan.
Yeah, they added flair there at the end when we were giving out trophies, and
Yes.
Some of the drivers were lucky enough to get a hug from some of those girls, and I know that put a big smile on their face.
I think so. I think one of them almost had a heart condition problem right then. It's all real good, all real good.
Yeah, the Golden Gears Car Club really did a fine job bringing in the cars, and of course, people like yourself, independents, brought their exotics and their fancy hot rods, and that's always nice to see familiar faces coming back year in, year out.
Sure. Absolutely. You
And
keep
it all
having a show like that, good weather, we'll be there.
Yeah, and all the proceeds went to Daybreak Adult Day Services, so it went for a good cause.
Yeah, and I think, I hate to say this to you, but I think next year 2 cars is going to be my limit, unless I can find somebody else to drive one up. That trailer was just a hassle, I'm telling you. We got back Sunday, and by the time we finished unloading and getting everything set up, it was 8:30 that night.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a long day.
Yeah, it was a long day. We left the house at 7:15 and got home at 8:30, and that ain't an hour and 15 minutes. I'm talking 13 hours and 15 minutes. So, but it was fun. It was great. We enjoyed doing it. But I think next year it'll probably be just the new Viper and the Pantera, and we'll drive them up. So
I think we're going to move it up an hour too, because I think the 4 o'clock hour is just a little too late. It gets a little too thin. People would like an earlier day, I believe, on a Sunday, so they can get home and enjoy their family for Sunday dinner.
I agree. 11 to 3 would probably work out better.
Yeah.
Yep. And you still have people getting there at 9:30. That's fine. You know, plenty of time to do that. All right, well, thank you, Jose and Todd. We're going to be back with you guys in just a few minutes. We'll give Todd some things to say, I promise you. But right now, we've got Craig Ship on the line. How you doing, Mr. Craig?
Oh, hi. I just popped in just to say hello. I saw the link there in my email.
There you go. I want to thank you for the video. I know Jose does too. We were talking about it when we got on the air, a 30-minute video that you did of the car show Sunday. But I'm telling you, interesting video, not to mention the fact that just very high quality. Really good job.
Good. Well, glad you liked it. If you, by the way, if you want to send some additional show notes, I already put some show notes and some shortcuts in there.
Okay.
If there's anything additional that you'd like me to add, just fire them over to me in an email, and I'll be happy to add any additional notes that you like. I don't know if I have the information about the Shine Shop in there, to tell you the truth.
Oh, okay. Well, he got a good commercial on there, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was real good. I was real impressed with that. I appreciate it.
We might have to put a timestamp in for that and a sentence or two.
Okay.
If you think about it, Dave, just fire that off to me, and I'll add it in.
I'll do it. Not a problem.
I think I got a number of them in there, but not everything.
You look as tired as I feel.
Oh, well. I think we're working too hard, Dave. What do you think?
Maybe. But it was a great time Sunday. The show went well. You did a great job with the video, not only, of course, the part about what is actually the 30 minutes edited down to and on YouTube, but you did a great job while you were there, organizing everything, and the equipment worked out well.
Yeah, I was pleased with this new little camera. I mean, this thing, I'll show you compared to the other one I was using.
Right.
Size difference. So, wow. Here's a side by side.
Bigger has to be better, Greg.
Yeah, here's a side by side.
Yeah.
And this one won't shoot 60 frames a second either. This one will shoot 60 frames a second. So if I want to cut the footage in half and slow it down to half speed, I still have 30 frames a second. So it's still nice and smooth.
And tell them what other option this camera has. Steadicam.
Oh, well, see, let me see if I can show you.
Okay.
If I fire it up. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if you can see inside there, the element in there.
Yeah, you can.
Can you see
lens moving, guys?
Wobbling? Can you see how it kind of like moves around independently of the camera? The lens mechanism?
I can. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so that's sort of like it's on a gyroscope in there. It's sort of like having a Steadicam built into the camera. All of these cameras have some kind of optical stabilization, right? But this is called balanced optical stabilization. This is a new thing they came out with about a year ago in several of their handycams, and these are the only ones that have it, and it really seems to do a great job, better than the way they used to do it. Was a sensor in the back would move,
right,
but not the whole assembly, the lens and everything. So this
it's really noticeable on the first shot of the 30-minute video when you're going down the line of cars. Okay. Yeah. He was on a Segway on blacktop. Now, you know the Segway has bumps and movements in it. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. And that looked as smooth. It looked like you were just floating on air.
It helps that the dynamic automotive parking lot is nice and smooth, too.
Well, so it wasn't. That's what I'm trying to say. The camera's incredible. No, it was nice. So, no, it really did a nice job. And I was talking to the guys earlier. I haven't seen a camera pull up the color of my Viper like that one did.
Yeah, your Viper did look sweet in it, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, and not that it didn't look good last year, but I think it looked better this year with that camera than it did last year.
Well, that's good news, because this camera I bought on eBay for $550, and this one's about a $2,500 rig. So
that's amazing.
Wow.
That's how technology improves things. So we can find all this video out at frederick.com, and it's right on the homepage still, isn't it?
Yeah, we have the rotating headlines right there on the homepage. It's going to be in the first, second, or third position for at least a week, so that'll kind of rotate around, but they'll see it right there on the rotating headlines. And
after that, you can just put in the search word dynamic, and it'll come right up.
Absolutely.
That's frederick.com, FREDERICK.com, which I always like to toot your horn because you were way ahead of the curve. That was one of the first local websites up, and it's still to this day one of the most popular local town websites in the country.
Yep, it sure is, and it's all because the businesses. There's several hundred businesses that have stepped up and sponsored the site, and that's really what makes it work. Without them, it wouldn't be anything. But they're there, and it works, and the people like it, and it does really well in Google searches because it's been up so long. One of the criteria that Google looks at when they surface pages in a search is how long the website has been around, and then how many other websites link to it. So Frederick.com has been around a real long time, and plus a lot of sites link to it, so it natively performs very well on Google searches when you search on various criteria based on the area. So that is what helps the businesses that are on there get focused traffic, because people are searching based on Frederick or whatever, and they're in there, and so of course they're interested in that area. So it's quality traffic.
Very good. Well, after this is over, folks, we want you to go to frederick.com and take a look at the dynamic automotive video. Thank you, Craig. We'll be back to you in just a few moments, buddy, if you can hang in there.
Thank you.
We're going to Mike Lambert from the Shine Shop. Mike, you've got some pictures to show us. We love pictures. We love pictures.
We like pictures, huh? Okay, I gotta get the screen
Love
share
pictures.
thingy coming here.
I
can't get my screen shared. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Okay.
All right. All right, these are just some we've had in here the last week or two.
Okay. So far, it's not up yet. Yep, there we're getting there.
Right, that's a Porsche 356 Spider.
Oh, nice.
Original paint. Mechanicals have all been redone, but that's an original car.
Wow. And that would be a very similar to the one, of course, that James Dean was in, correct?
Similar. This isn't he was in a Speedster, which is the windshield would be tilted back and about 6 inches shorter, but
Okay.
basically the same car.
Gotcha. Okay. Very nice.
Here. That's a new Mercedes ML that we did with C-Quartz.
Is that one of the ML55s?
No, it's just it's not the AMG model, but it was a 2014 ML.
Okay.
Nice car, just a lot of stuff that I don't need in a car in it. You know what I mean? Just a lot of little things.
And you know, I'm sorry, but very, very difficult to figure out too when you first get in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a baffling car.
And this is a friend of yours, Dave. It's a Mini Cooper Grand Prix edition, limited edition.
Yeah, that's the one he was talking about. He got out of California, I believe.
Yeah, they got it brought in from California. It's a really nice car. It's no back. It was unusual. No back seat. It's basically a street legal race car.
Mm-hmm.
But that's his everyday driver.
Mm-hmm.
Mustang Club of America edition, which I've never seen before.
Okay.
Special markings and special grill and things like that. These are all C-Quartz finest.
Right.
New Mercedes CLS 65. Nice car, very nice car, very, very nice car. I would buy that car.
You would?
Yes, I would. That's a nice Mercedes. I'm not a big fan of Mercedes and the newer Mercedes, but that's a very nice car.
Trade your Challenger for that without a problem?
No problem at all.
Okay. All right.
This is a Honda S2000, an 05 that the gentleman found out in California. It's got 19,000 miles on it. And it looked like the guy just had washed it with a Prolo pad.
Unbelievable.
So we took care of that. Very difficult paint to work on, just extremely soft.
Not the kind of car you want to have somebody abuse it. Oh, look at that bad boy.
Yeah, that's a 1973 Z28. Bucket seats with an automatic on the column.
That's just bizarre.
It's just a really nice car. A very nice gentleman. Very nice.
That's one of those one-offs because nobody else would want it.
Probably. I mean, he said, now this is
not the car, just the stick shift on the column. You know.
I think so too. Yeah, it's and it's been all redone. It's got the modern suspension and things like that. And he goes on the hot rod power tours and does all that with it. So
it looks very similar to the year, make, and model of the car that the guy from Papa John's has.
Yeah, pretty much. And so we can prove to you that I do regular cars. That's a brand new Toyota Avalon. Very nice car.
By the way, the Avalon, I got to give kudos to Toyota. That is a beautiful four-door sedan from head to toe.
It is a very nice car. I was really impressed with it.
That really is. Very nice.
What is that? New BMW.
Mm-hmm.
3 Series convertible.
All right. Hardtop convertible. Yep.
Yeah. That was a real nice one. Audi TT-RS, which I really like. I didn't think I'd like it, but I really do. Neat. Very comfortable to drive. This one's got an RS has a 6-speed.
I bet you bang your head getting in.
I'm sorry?
I bet you bang your head getting in.
No, you don't. That's what I was surprised at. A lot of room inside. It looks like it's a really short, squatty car, but it's really got a lot of room inside.
Very good. Okay.
Audi Q5, 2014 Audi Q5. Lady had traded her Volvo wagon in with 190,000 miles on it for that because the transmission went up. She thought it shouldn't have went up that soon.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's a new 2014 911S convertible. In kind of an unusual color, like a brownish metallic. It was pretty.
Okay.
And this is a 2010 Dodge Challenger, and this is a perfect example of why the words garage kept and pristine scare me.
Yes.
This car is a 2010. It's got 4,000 miles on it, and it's garage kept, and all I ever do is dust it off.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hood.
Now, whose car is that?
One of your listeners.
Okay.
Real nice man. Real nice man. That's a kind of a 50-50 on the hood where we're about halfway through it. You can see on my left,
Right.
we're about one step of polishing, and on the right's to where it came from.
And it was garage kept, huh?
Garage kept with 4,000 miles.
But it still needed a lot of work.
Oh yeah, this is a tough one.
Yeah.
There's pretty much when we're pretty much done.
Wow, that's pretty.
And there it is outside.
And that's an RT?
Yeah, it's an RT.
Mm-hmm. Now, you don't like this. You personally don't like the stripes on the hood, but I like them.
I like the stripes, and I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do that to mine.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't quite made up my mind yet. I mean,
okay.
there's a company in Texas that does all these stripes.
Right.
That's really nice to deal with. So I may do it. They send me color samples, so if I pick out a color I like, I may do it. For $70, you can take them all.
That's for sure. Well, I'll tell you, Mike.
That was our last week and a half or so.
That's what you did yesterday, those cars.
This is not the infamous dynamic duo car wash where we clean a car in 1 minute. I can't run that many cars during the day.
Very good. Well, thank you for being with us tonight, Mike. Beautiful.
Yeah, I must say, I was very impressed with the car wash. What a spotlessly clean place. Just amazing and beautiful. Beautiful.
It was clean. It looked good. So, very good. Thank you, Mike.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, back to the dynamic duo from Dynamic Automotive. Jose, what you been working on recently? I mean, excuse me, Todd, what have you been working on recently?
Oh, we've been working on lots of stuff lately. Today, actually, we had a referral. One of your listeners came in as a 98 Dodge, or I guess a Chrysler Town and Country. Has an issue with starting and the instrument cluster going dead.
Uh-oh. Like no communication with the bus.
Well, we did have a communication error. Looks like it all stems back to a broken solder joint within the instrument cluster.
Good.
Taking the data bus down. So made a repair to the circuit board in the cluster and put it all back together. Tomorrow we're going to exercise it a few times, road test, and hopefully get this thing complete and back to it.
Was that exercise or exorcise?
Exercise.
many times we think exorcise for some of those ones with a woo thing.
Yeah. No, if I hadn't seen it myself, I wouldn't have believed it. But he came in with it, and it was acting up, and the entire cluster was blank.
Now, did he remember to ask about the 10% discount?
He didn't ask about it, but he definitely dropped your name quite a few times. So he will receive.
There you go. That's good. And I'm glad that he came to you. That's great. So what else you been working on?
I've got a couple of diesels here that are hanging around. We got to get those wrapped up. One just dropped off this afternoon, so has some drivability issues. So we'll get through those tomorrow. Have I guess early 2000s BMW out here in the lineup. Looks like it's been sitting outside for some time. We have some rusted through brake lines above the fuel tank and rear drive line.
That is unusual on a BMW.
It's going to be quite a task to change these out.
This must have been really sitting for a while because they don't usually rust. I very seldom see a European car or even a Japanese car with rusted brake lines. Very seldom.
Right. Yeah.
The Americans, we've learned how to rust them. We don't know what the situation is. The American car manufacturers, I have a Chevy Blazer in there right now that had all the fuel lines rusting out, and we're still working on that.
Yeah. It looks like with this BMW, the exhaust is one piece from the manifold all the way to the tailpipe.
Yes, sir.
What's that?
Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah. So
it's heavy. It's heavy.
Drop that out, and then the drive shaft, and then the fuel tank, and then the entire rear suspension and rear axle assembly all has to come out of the way to access these brake lines. So
he's going to be begging for a diesel to work on pretty soon, Jose.
Yeah, well, got one of those too. So, so definitely lots of stuff going on. So
we've got one in here, extended cranking, losing static pressure after you shut the vehicle off. It's supposed to sustain pressure for about 5 minutes. It loses, it goes down to 10 psi within 10 seconds.
Wow.
So, and then when those episodes occur, you can just crank, and it takes a while, and then the car starts.
Let's talk a little bit more about the show, if you don't mind, Jose. Do you know what kind of money? You may have mentioned it earlier, and I may have not heard you. Do you know what kind of money you raised for Daybreak yesterday?
I asked today. They don't have the final figures in just yet, but it'll be a substantial amount for Daybreak Adult Day Services. Car count was down a little bit from last year. I do know that, but we still had a great crowd that showed up.
Well, you know, I do want to alert you, every year there are more car shows. It is amazing. Very few have ceased, and more come every year. So this year, for example, there were weekends that I could have chosen 7, 8, and 9 shows that I could have gone to on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Wow.
And it's just amazing how many there are. So it's a lot of competition out there.
In your opinion, what is the hottest month for car shows?
I would say
Peak month.
May and June, I think, would be the two. I think it's because the excitement, of course, of getting the cars out there. Okay? Everybody's gotten their cars worked on during the wintertime. They're ready to go. And May and June are usually the first shows that people can go to. And they really get some good coverage from there. And then by the time July and August come by, you have your stale work. The people who do this as a part-time career. They want to do it every weekend. But a lot of the people who do it occasionally are already on vacation, or they're not doing it anymore. So I would say May and June. But the other problem is weather. Okay, because May and June can be a little more iffy with weather than July and August. July and August you have the thunderstorm problems, but if you do your show during the day, you don't have that many problems.
Right. Yeah, May and June tend to be wetter.
Stick with the date you've got. That's what I recommend to everybody. When you change a date, it messes everything up for true car show people. Because, like, for example, maybe I have a show coming up this Sunday, okay, and you decide, well, you know what, I think we're going to do Labor Day weekend next year instead of the week before. And now I've got a show that I'm already scheduled for Labor Day weekend. I can't go to yours. All right? So if you continue to keep the same week, it usually does much better. You get the same people back, and you get some more. Yep.
Good advice.
Yep. So you're doing well. You know, you really couldn't have had much more on your lot without it looking, junky. Okay?
Right.
Every spot filled, and it was delightful. So, I think that's the best way you want to do it. All your inside spots were taken. As far as I could tell, all your outside spots were taken. Anything else had to be put on the street. So that's exactly what you want.
Yeah. We ended up putting the motorcycles out on the street. That worked out pretty good.
Yeah, I think it works out fine. And, just don't piss them off because they're big and burly.
Yes.
As I found out. That was great. All right, well, listen, it was a pleasure being there. Again, we want to remind everybody that if you want to see the video, all you have to do is go to frederick.com, and then it'll be on the front home page. But if you want, you can just put in the search word dynamic, and it'll come right up for you. And that'll have a couple of them from the other years, too, that you can look at. But I thought this year, overall, was the smoothest running one that we've been at.
Oh, absolutely. It seems to get smoother every year. Preparation is really the hard work, all the cleaning and sprucing up and organization of the event. But I want to thank you for doing your MC magic there while you were there. And I know we put you to work in the afternoon, and you did a great job, Dave. And I want to thank Craig for doing a fantastic job videotaping the whole event on that Segway. I think that really worked out very nicely with your new equipment there. I was very impressed with the results.
Well, the good news is you keep the Bubbles girls coming back. You'll probably have Craig next year.
Yeah, I think they're going to be in next year also, and the year after.
And probably a bunch of other folks coming next year as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No doubt. All right, well, thank you, Jose and Todd. We appreciate you being with us tonight. Hang in just 1 second before we do our closing, okay?
Thanks for having us.
All right, thank you. Back to Craig Shipp from Frederick.com, and as you see, Hangout10.com, which this show is part of. We're part of the Hangout10.com community, and which we're very happy to be. So what's going on in the world of Frederick.com other than Dynamic Automotive?
Well, before I get into that, I did want to say that a lot of my videos are available on Vimeo for people to download. It's kind of tricky to download videos from YouTube, but I do have a Vimeo account. If they go to my website, craigship.com, and noodle around in the links section, I do have a link to my Vimeo account, and I put that Smart Link video on there, for example.
Right.
So if they wanted to download that and use it locally or whatever, you can actually download the original file from Vimeo.
Very good.
So that's one thing I want to let you all know.
Talk about the event that happened Saturday, right before the Dynamic Automotive show at the fairgrounds.
The Patty Pilatus Fund. Yeah,
Yes.
that was a big fundraiser event, PPF event every year, and we also have a video up of that. And Danielle Bradbury was there. She gave a great performance. There were just the whole day, even though it rained, and it rained on and off, and some of the times hard rain.
Right.
It was still a great turnout. And Debbie made the comment that she had already raised $500,000 before the gate even opened.
That's incredible.
So she already, from the major sponsors, already had raised and had in the bank $500,000 for the charity.
You know, that's a testimony to her testimony, first of all. Very, very Lord-driven.
Mm-hmm.
And she counts on, you know, the Lord to help her in this thing. And this event has gone over well year after year. And for those of you that don't know, Danielle Bradbury and the Schwann brothers were two acts from The Voice. And, you know, people say, oh, it's just a, you know, an entertainment show, and they have just, you know, some amateurs do it. These people are very talented. I mean, Danielle Bradbury won. I think the Schwann brothers came in second place or third place. They were incredibly talented people.
She always has big names there. She's had Sarah Evans there, the Oak Ridge Boys. I mean, she's had big names every year for many years. So, and the thing about it is you can get right up close and personal. I mean, you can be right there at the stage if you want to.
Sure.
The grandstands are close too, and then they have the track, the horse track that goes right in front of the stage, and a lot of people were right there, literally right in front of the stage. So if you want to see these stars and see them up close, it's a great way to do that.
Now, were the entertainers undercover also?
Yeah, we're there. Yeah, the stage had a cover,
Good.
and then half of the grandstands were covered. So most of the people in the grandstands were in the covered section. But then a lot of people stood out on the track and all in the rain with umbrellas or whatever, and by the time the big acts came on, the rain had pretty much stopped.
Right.
So that timing was good. But the earlier acts, it was raining, and there were people out there in the rain watching. So, I mean, rain or shine, that thing goes on.
There you go. Well, I'm glad it was successful for her. She's a very nice lady. She does a lot of good work, and I'm glad she was successful. That's fantastic.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Greg. I appreciate you being with us this evening, sir.
No problem.
All right, you have yourself a great night. We're going to get back to Mike Lambert. Mike, thank you very much for being with us this evening.
Oh, my pleasure. Always enjoy it.
All right, that sounds good. I hope you and your Black Challenger have a nice evening. Thanks for bringing it after the show at Dynamic Automotive. And as I said, I think you got some people interested in having the C-Courts performed. And it's really something that I recommend to everybody who really is passionate about their cars, to protect their cars and keep their cars looking nice. It is really an essential part of the car right now.
Yeah, I think it's going that way in the detailing industry. Whether you do it yourself or you have somebody do it for you with some of the higher end stuff, I think it's the way to go.
I agree. Well, thank you, Mike.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I had a blast on Sunday. It was a wonderful time.
Sounds good. Michael Lambert from the Shine Shop, 410-833-1632. And we have Jose and Todd, once again, from Dynamic Automotive, 3 locations to serve you: Libertytown, New Market, and also Urbana in Frederick, Maryland. And the 301-694-6250. And dynamicautomotive.net is the website. So, guys, you put on a great show. Thank you for your hospitality, and we look forward to being there again next year.
Thank you, Dave. It was a lot of fun having you all there. Michael, thank you for coming with your nice Challenger and your beautiful wife.
Yes, she had a good time too, she said.
Yeah, that was good seeing you guys there. I thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Craig Ship, thank you very much for being with us, buddy. Frederick.com is your major website, but you've got CraigShip.com, Hangout10.com. I've got a lot of other sites that you're in charge of. thank you for your hard work, buddy, and helping us out with Dynamic Automotive Video.
No problem. It's good to be there.
All right, I'm Dave Serio, host of the radio program You Ought to Know, heard and seen live every Saturday morning, 7 to 12 on DaveSerio.com. Join me live for the talk show this Saturday, and of course, we thank you very much for being here live tonight. If by some chance you're watching this on archive, we thank you, but we also would love to have you live next Tuesday night. Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, YouAutoKnowLive.com. 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 Have yourself a nice evening. Thanks for being with us, and bless you for the week, and we will talk to you again next Tuesday night. Bye-bye.